Hello, my name's Anne-Marie. I'm going to take you through a yoga practice today. First part of this practice will be pranayama. Pranayama is your deep breathing. It's the most important part of your practice. That's the part that connects your inner world, your breath, to the outer world, which are your postures and asanas. Now, to begin with, it's really important to find a very special space to start your practice in. In my case today, I've been lucky enough to use my own garden. You may have a space that you can use like this, but it really doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you choose a surface that is safe to work on, something that isn't going to slip, something you feel comfortable on. And I call that space my sacred space. And as soon as I lay out my sacred space, I'm ready to start my work. And my sacred space is that beginning and that foundation. The next brick on that foundation, the next brick to my level, is my deep breathing. Pranayama. Prana means life force. In our case, it's breath. It can mean ki, chi. It doesn't matter what you call it. The root of that is your deep breathing, is your life force. You can't exist without breathing. Yama is a discipline. So those two words connected are breath and discipline. Breathing, discipline. The first exercise is called Kapalabhati. That means literally in Sanskrit shining skull, because when you generate the kind of oxygen buildup that you do in this, it's a cardiovascular exercise, 8,000 years old. It generates this wonderful, rich, oxygenated blood flow. It can make you lightheaded when you first start. That will pass. So don't feel that you're getting ill or you've done too much. It's a normal process when you're first starting. As you become more advanced, that buzz, if you like, will go. Shining skull is a wonderful description for that tingling that you have in your head. The other thing that it's doing is cleansing the lungs, exercising the lungs, because they're a muscle, opening the cardiovascular system to its highest peak of performance by opening the ribs as well. So if you think that mostly we never use the lungs to their full capacity, we're lifting stale air right from the bottom of the lungs. That's what I want you to imagine you're doing. It's a diaphragmic breathing exercise from here as well as there. There's two ways you can sit. Most importantly, that you have a straight spine. Now you can either sit like this, that may be uncomfortable. Sit on a rolled mat or cushion to lift the hips, or sit in a cross-legged position. That's the next brick and foundation, a comfortable sitting position. Whichever decision you make about your comfortable sitting position, find it, sit in it, and get yourself prepared. The other thing to do is to mentally prepare yourself for your yoga practice. So do this by straightening the spine, lifting the chest, opening so that you're ready to work this whole system here. And calm the mind by taking good deep breaths into the belly. Soft belly, soft face, soft shoulders, soft hand, strong inner core, strong spine. So also very important to contact your Ujjayi breathing. The Ujjayi breathing is as you exhale, you slightly close the throat, the epiglottis, so that you hear this wonderful rushing, roaring sound of breath as it leaves the body. Two good reasons why we need to do that. One is to connect us with our breath. And if you're working with other people, it connects them to your breathing and their breathing. Constant connection with breath is what yoga's about. Otherwise, it's just an exercise class. It's not yoga anymore. It's gymnastics. So this is the connection between the earth, and always imagine that's where you're sitting or standing, on the earth. But your head is in heaven. It's cool, it's calm, there's clouds around your head. It doesn't matter how you perceive it, but for me, and possibly for you, your yoga practice is feet on earth, head in heaven. So start by taking a deep breath into the tummy. And as you exhale, squeeze the tummy firmly towards the back of the spine. Use the tummy muscles to tone and firm. Inhale again. And exhale. Inhale deeply. And forcefully exhale the breath out of the body. On your last out breath, push firmly towards the back of the spine using the tummy muscles. Feel them. And then release by relaxing the tummy. Exhale. Inhale comfortably and hold the breath. Hold the breath for as long as it feels comfortable. If your breathing becomes difficult, you feel maybe panicky, stop, relax, and start again. Those more advanced can hold for as long as they want, up to 2 minutes. You can always stop the tape at this point and hold the breath longer. And release. And relax. I suggest that you do this 3 times. Okay. Good, and relax. Stretch your legs out before you do the next breathing exercise. Get the blood flowing back through your legs. Give yourself a really good stretch. And swap your legs over. Make sure the other one's on top or underneath now. All right, we're going to do Anuloma Viloma, alternate nostril breathing. You've just done a cleansing breath, a purifying, muscular type of breathing. This next session is calming and balancing breath. You always use your right hand, even if you're left-handed, and we always fold the first 2 fingers of the hand in. Now, there's a good reason for that. These fingers in Sanskrit philosophy are called the fingers of indignation. They're the ones that you get angry with. You might point at somebody and get really angry. Constant little things like that remind you that you're purifying, that you're raising your awareness, you're raising your vibration. So all of these little things, affectations you might think they were, are actually really good reasons for doing. So folding those first 2 fingers in, you're going to use the last 2 on your left side. Your thumb, your right thumb, you place on the side of your nostril. As you press in, make sure you keep the elbow away from the body. You've got a lovely lifted spine. Again, this is to keep this area open and released. Keep your head forward. Keep your spine erect. Start by exhaling through the left nostril, remembering to pull the tummy firmly in towards the back of the spine. Start by exhaling. Squeeze. Use your Ujjayi breathing, this sound, this rushing sound as you breathe out. Inhale, left for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Block both nostrils, hold the breath. Now those more advanced, bring your chin down onto your chest. And bring up your upper locks as well while you're holding the breath. That's pulling up the anal sphincter muscle and the pelvic floor. Bringing the head up, you're going to exhale for 8 counts to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Block off both nostrils, put on your locks if you're ready. And exhale for 8 counts left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And relax. Now this is a good point to switch off the tape and then do another 2 or 3 rounds depending on how advanced you're getting. You're inhaling for 4 counts, you're holding for 16, and then you're exhaling for 8. As you become more advanced, you can do 6 inhalations, 24 hold, 12 exhale. So you can switch off the tape and do as many as you need. And rejoin us when you're ready to do the start of your workout. Standing at the front of your mat, charge the body up by stretching all the muscles in the body. Spread the toes. Make sure the balance is between heels and the ball of the foot. Take a deep breath, bring the arms together above the head, tighten the buttocks. Exhale, head to knee, place the hands down by the side of the feet. Take a deep breath, reach forward, press out the chin, and jump or step into chaturanga or press up position. Push forward into cobra. Push your shoulders together, head back. Make sure that your knees are off the floor if you're advanced. Push back into dog pose. Press those heels deeply into the floor. As you take a deep breath, jump, step, push forward. Exhale, head to knee. Inhale into sitting pose, knees pressed together, arms straight. Pull up, deep breath, exhale, hands down by the side of the body. Inhale, deep breath, arms up, hands together, exhale, head to knee, squeeze the air out of the body, press the head down, inhale, reach the chin forward, press the middle back down. Take the weight on the hands, jump back or step. For new people, right leg, left leg back, lower yourself into chaturanga, push forward into cobra. You can lay yourself down onto the floor. More proficient students, jump back, arms straight, make sure your hands are directly under the shoulders, lower to the floor, try to keep off the floor before you go into cobra. More advanced students this time, jumping back into chaturanga, make sure your elbows are pushed in by the ribs before you push forward into cobra, stretching the head back, tuck the toes under, try to keep your heels really pushing down deeply into the mat. Stretch your fingers, loosen, make sure your neck is nice and relaxed, but push the backs of the knees open towards the back of the room. Think about the sitting bones lifting high up, rotate the shoulders by pulling the shoulder blades together. Good, nice deep steady breathing. Feel the whole hip lifting up. As you come up to jump forward, take a deep breath, push the chin forward. Feel that back flattening. Exhale, head to knee. As you drop into sitting position, make sure that you lift the chest, lift the face. Always work very positively, not looking down. And exhale. Good. Again, taking a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale, head to knee. Squeeze the air from the body. Tuck the head in, reach forward. Think about the belly reaching down and pushing back. Take the weight on the hands as you jump back in either version. As you push forward, try to get the heels really pushing forward into that cobra. For more advanced, try to keep your knees off the floor. Reach the throat up towards the ceiling and think about the shoulders pushing back. Good, press those arms deeply into the floor. Tucking your toes under, push back into dog pose. Make sure you breathe, you keep your neck really loose. Jumping forward or stepping, reach forward, exhale, head to knee. Sitting pose. Now make sure that you really lift that chest up and the face, but keep the inner knee pulled together. Exhale, hands down by the side of the body. Inhale.
Really reach up and imagine you're flying down towards the floor, tucking that head in. Reach forward, step or jump. Take some more weight on your hands if you feel confident. Reaching forward again into cobra. Chest lifted, shoulders back. Now this time you're going to roll back into dog. Settle into a good comfortable position. Separate your feet 6 to 8 inches apart. Breathe deeply. Now this is your chance to really open and stretch in this position. Think about the backs of the knees opening up towards the back of the room. The sitting bones pushing high up towards the ceiling. You'll notice that the movements are equated with the deep breathing that you're going to be doing. Turn out the left foot, shoot through the right into warrior. Make sure your knee is pushed out over your small toe. Good. Make sure the knee is coming down the center of the foot. Good. Looking at the back leg. Watch that foot is pushed out. Back edge of the heel pushing deeply into the floor, locking that knee to stop any injuries. Well done. Taking down the hands again by the side of the feet. Check they're directly under the shoulders. Lower into chaturanga. Release the hips as you push forward into cobra. Good. As you turn over the toes, imagine you're really pushing back and breathing deeply. Again, holding, making sure the fingers are stretched and a shoulder hips apart. Good. Deep breathing. Pull in the muscles across the pelvic area. By extending the ribs, you'll get this lovely hollow in the pelvic area. This will give you a chance to just extend yourself a bit more. Turning out the right foot, shoot through the left, and place yourself in warrior. Good. Hands down by the side of the feet, both feet together. Exhale and push forward into cobra. Now, if you're more advanced, you need to try keeping off the floor as you go forward into cobra. That will strengthen your upper body. And each time you try, you're going to get a bit stronger. Good. Holding again for 5 deep breaths or 5 counts in dog pose. Remember that your body's opening, freeing itself on every exhalation. Breathe deeply. Keep your mind centered. Focus on any point, either the mat or your legs or between the legs. Forward, stretch the chin out. Again, thinking about stretching the fingers. Exhale, head to knee. As you come up into the sitting pose, think about sitting on a stool, low down. Knees pressed together. Exhale, hands down by the side of the body. Inhale, deep breath. Exhale, flying down towards your feet. Keep a constant flow of breath and movement. Inhaling, reach the chin forward. Take the weight on the hand, step or jump back into chaturanga. Keep those elbows tightly in by the ribs and go forward into cobra. Lift the chest, tuck the toes under. Now, advanced people can add that extra press up there if they want to, but otherwise just keep it pretty simple. Reaching back, opening the backs of the knees, press those heels deeply into the mat. Now don't worry if you can't do it yet, you will eventually. Turning out that left foot, shoot through the right into warrior. Again, lifting the chest, make sure the arms are really reaching up high for the ceiling. Your face is always up, never down. Think about your work being lifted. Good. Don't forget to breathe. Keep your back leg nice and straight. Good. Breathing deeply. Keep lifted. Good. Opening up the arms, hands down by the side of the feet. Both feet together. Exhale. Reach forward into cobra. Keep trying hard to keep the weight off the floor. Good. Rolling back. Add that extra press up if you want to. Otherwise, just push back into dog. Now think about rotating those shoulders. Good. Turn out the right foot. Shoot through the left and lift up again into warrior. If you feel that you need to work a little bit harder, don't forget to push that knee out over that little toe, over the little left toe. Good. Watch that back leg. Push the heel deeply down into the floor. Keep reaching and breathing. And opening, hands down by the side of the feet, directly under the shoulders, both feet together. Exhale down into Chaturanga. Release the pelvis as you push forward into Cobra and press those hands deeply down into the mat. Rolling back, push back into Dog, pressing those heels firmly down. On the Dog, you can carry on working constantly. You never really arrive, you're always working harder. Good, now as you come up, stretch the chin, exhale, head to knee. Dropping the bottom, keep the knees pressed together, lift up, focus your mind. Where's it going? It's going up, and then exhale, hands down by the side of the body. Deep breath, inhale, drop the bottom, knees pull together, reaching up, and exhale, hands down by the side of the feet, tuck the head firmly in, bend your knees if you need to. If you can't straighten them, it really doesn't matter. Take the weight and jump back. Good, or step. Must do what's right for you. Never overdo it, never jump when you're not ready, otherwise your lower back is going to suffer. Take your time. Pushing back into Dog, stretch the backs of the legs. Good, deep breathing. Focus your mind. Turn out left foot, shoot through right. Deep breath, lift. Now just check that your weight is down the center of the body. Good. Hands down by the side of the feet, feet together. Lower and push forward into Cobra. Now really stretch. Good. Rolling back, push back, and into Dog. This Dog can be worked on constantly. It's never really just there. You're always breathing. Turn out that right foot, shoot through your left. Deep breath into Warrior. Exhale, hands down by the side of the feet, both feet together, and lower into Chaturanga. Push forward into Cobra. Really stretch open that throat. Feel about it opening. Good. Roll back into Dog and push the heels firmly down. Coming up onto the balls of the feet, get your weight back, and as you jump, take the weight forward onto your hands. Have courage to really jump. Lift that butt up. Good, and exhale, head to knee. Deep breath. Drop the bottom down, knees pushed together. Lift up, focus past your thumbs, and exhale, hands down by the side of the body. Good, deep breathing, and rest. At this point, you can turn off the tape and move on to the sitting series. Or for the more advanced, you can do this section as well, called the Sunpower series. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, reach down towards the feet, reach out the arms, tighten the buttocks here as you go back, lift the sternum, and exhale. Hands down by the side of the feet, tuck the head in. Taking a deep breath, take your right leg back, place the knee on the floor, push the weight forward, and turning into a twist. Place that left arm over the back of the right thigh. Front hand is pressing down on the left knee. Remember to breathe in as you lift up, and as you turn the body, exhale. Breathe deeply and make sure that the lower back is opening and releasing. Place the hands back down by the side of the feet, tuck the toe under, place the hands into press up. Exhale down and push up out of press up. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. Exhale, knees, chest and forehead, push forward into Cobra. Now settle down here, separate the feet slightly. Good, hands down by the side of your mat. Make sure that you settle in here because you're actually going to hold this for some time. This is to build up your upper body strength. Just check every now and then, are my hands directly into my shoulders? Is my chest lifted? Are my shoulders pulling back? What about my shoulder blades? Are they pulling together as well? Good. Make sure you tuck your toes under and take some weight back on your toes. Now as you push back into Dog, make sure that you feel like you've really released here, because doing that Cobra takes quite a lot of energy out of the upper body. Breathe deep, good, and really stretch and release and open. You're going to take a deep breath and raise the right leg up. Alright, now this is quite difficult, but use your upper body strength, focus the mind, keep pushing the heel deeply down into the mat. Watch the back leg, that left leg is really lifted. Make sure the front of the thigh is lifted. Good, and your knee is locked. As you push the heel down and you come up onto the ball of the foot, make sure that you're still pushing the weight back and not actually taking too much weight on your hands. You press down, keep stretching the backs of the legs. Fold that right leg in beautifully and try to bring it back between the hands. But if you can't, just adjust yourself until you can. Release the back foot, turn this time to the right, placing the right arm behind the left thigh. Right arm's pressing against that thigh, and then the left arm is pulling up on that right knee. Lift up the chest as you breathe in, and as you turn, exhale. Make sure your breathing is constant. Place your hands carefully down by the side of your feet. Tuck your toe under. Bring that left leg back towards your right. Now it's going to feel a little bit weak here, so take it easy. As you press forward, bring the arms together, reach up to the ceiling, tighten the buttocks here, and lift the chest up as you go back. Good, really stretch. And exhale, hands down by the side of the feet, tuck the head in. Take a deep breath and take your left leg back. Do remember to drop that left knee to the floor and then release the toe. Deep breath, rotating this time to the right. The left arm is on the right knee. The right arm is tucked around the back of that left leg. Good. Now every time you do this, you get 4 chances to do it, twice on each side. Do remember that you're working on the lower back. And as you breathe in, you lift the spine. And as you breathe out, you turn. Feel the lower back releasing. Good. Hands down by the side of feet. Always place them carefully directly under the shoulders. Both feet together. Lower down into press up or chaturanga. Good. Keep those elbows in. Press up. Now you don't have to do that extra press up. You can always just drop knees, chest and forehead. Push forward. Now as you go forward, do try to take your weight forward of your hands. Don't just sort of push yourself back. Good. Tucking the toes under, press the heels of the hands deeply into the floor. Now if you find that your lower back is beginning to hurt, have you tightened the buttocks? Don't forget that the buttocks protect the lower back. You can't do this safely with your buttocks relaxed. You need to really work hard on those. If you can't stretch the knees, then just drop them to the floor. Good. Now as you push back into dog, again it's a relief. Give yourself time to stretch. Give yourself time to breathe. Flood the body. Good, with good oxygen. That's it. Good. Deep breathing. Stretch the arms. Lift the sitting bones up high. Take a deep breath and raise this time your left leg. And you can always adjust your arms. Get yourself comfortable. Once you feel settled and safe in this posture, then breathe deep. Good. Make sure that right heel is pressing down into the mat. Make sure that your left leg is pushing as high up towards the ceiling as you can. We're all going to be working at different levels. Think about the knees not wanting to come together. If you open up the knee away from you, away from the other knee, then you'll lift it up higher. Coming up onto the ball of that foot, don't be tempted to take your weight onto your hands again. Good. Press the heel down. Deep breath. Fold that left leg beautifully in. Use your tummy muscles here as you reach forward between your hands. Place the right knee on the floor, release your toe, take a deep breath, and rotate into twisting lunge. Breathe. You always have plenty of time in these postures to really extend yourself to the fullest. Now all during this workout, don't forget that you can always back off, you can always sit back on your knees, get your breathing back to normal, turn the tape off. It doesn't mean that you have to do your maximum every time. There'll be days when you feel tired, there'll be days when you feel great. Do whatever you can, but never push yourself to the extent that you feel exhausted. It's completely pointless. Good, now bringing that right leg back up to meet the left. Remember, it's going to feel a bit weak. Exhale, head to knee. That's great. Take a deep breath. Reach forward. Now as you come to upstand, and tighten the buttocks and lift the sternum. Good. Now if you find that going back this time makes you feel a little bit dizzy, then just don't do it. Just reach up to the ceiling instead. Exhale, head to knee. Good. Take a deep breath and take that right leg back again. Okay, you're going to release that back toe. You're you're going to go into crescent moon. Now, as you reach forward, really stretch and allow the lower back to push forward towards the left knee. Think about the middle part of the body sinking deep. Good. And lift the chest up. Breathe. Keep your mind focused. Drop the weight down. Good. Take a deep breath. As you come forward, place your hands so that you can sit comfortably, because you're going to do a quad stretch now. So holding on to that right foot, you're going to pull it in towards the buttocks. Now remember, if you do have a sore knee or a knee that you're not really sure about or it hurts, work with a towel by your mat and then place it under the knee. Good. Don't overdo it. Never work doing something like this when you're cold. Make sure it's always part of your practice. You should be really nice and warm now, and that front quadricep should be stretching nicely. Good. Placing the hands down by the feet. Taking both feet back, lower yourself down into press up or chaturanga. Keep those elbows tightly in. Now as you press up again, you don't need to do that, but otherwise just drop your knees, chest and forehead and reach forward into cobra. Now do check that you've got your shoulders directly over your hands, because otherwise you're not going to get the deepest stretch. Make sure that you try and keep the knees off the floor and the thighs, but don't worry if you can't. Don't forget about the lower back as well, protecting it by activating the buttocks. Really pull them together, make them work incredibly hard to protect you. You will always hurt your back without activating those muscles. Now as you push back into dog, again it's a relief. Really open, stretch, allow the spine to release. Good, and breathe deeply. All the way through your practice, don't forget to focus your breath. Now you're going to bring your right knee down towards the floor. Check it's directly under your hip. And also readjust your right hand to be in line with that knee. Pull in the tummy right towards the back of the spine, as in Uddiyana Bandha. That's good. Now reaching up and take your left arm back. Now we're all going to be at different levels here. Some of us will be able to take the arm really far back, others only a few centimeters. It really doesn't matter. Place that right hand again on the floor. Readjust your hands, both feet together. Good. And you're going to turn again onto the same arm, keeping both legs straight. Now again, if you are a beginner, if you really don't feel confident, place that knee on the floor again. Place the same knee, the right knee, back on the floor. More advanced people will be able to do this unsupported. Make sure that you have your feet correctly placed, right leg on the floor, left leg, just the ball of the foot on the floor, and then open up the spine, taking the arm back, good, and come back down, hands down directly underneath the shoulders. Now this is another relief as well, pushing back into dog. Breathe deep. How's your breathing? If it's become choppy, if it's become difficult, switch the tape off and rest. And when you're ready, take a deep breath and bring that right leg back between your hands. Take a deep breath and into crescent moon. Now remember what we said before, push that lower back forward. Lift the chest back, but keep the most of the weight forward over that right leg. Think about the throat opening up. Only hold this for as long as it's comfortable. If you start to hurt anywhere, then please stop. That's great. Come back up into quad stretch. Now you need to still think about that left hip dropping down. Don't let it come up. When you think there's going to be a little bit of pain, sometimes you can contract in that area, but I want you to try to release. That's good. If you're advanced, you'll be able to bring that toe really down onto the buttock. Excellent. Deep breathing. Keep your mind focused. Sometimes when you feel a stretch may be slightly painful, we can tense up. Keep checking your breathing. Good. Release that foot, tuck the toe under, place the hands down and retrieve that left leg to meet the right, and exhale, head to knee. Deep breath, reach forward. Now as you stretch up, again tighten the buttocks before you go back into the back bend, and really if you've had enough of back bends then you don't need to do that. Just stretch up. Exhale, head to knee, tuck the head in. Taking the left leg back, drop the knee to the floor. Good. Again, we're going to reach forward into crescent moon. Reaching up and back. Lift the chest. Don't collapse into your lower back. Keep the weight forward onto the right leg. Good. And focus your mind. Good. Coming back into quad stretch. Holding on again to that left foot. Curl the fingers around the foot. Deep breath. And as you exhale, gently pull the foot in towards the buttock. Again, remember, we're all at different levels here. Work to your own level. Good. Focus the breath. Keep still. Breathe. Good. And release. Both feet together. Exhale. Keep the elbows in. Try to keep off the floor, but if you can't, just drop down gently. Pushing back up into that press up. Drop your knees, chest and forehead. Push forward into cobra. Good. Adjust your hands. Make sure they're directly under the shoulders. If you can keep your knees off the floor and thighs, that's great. But if you can't, just drop your knees gently down. Tuck your toes under for a deeper stretch in cobra. Now your back's going to work much harder here. Make sure your buttocks are really tight. Good. Breathe. Watch those shoulders. Don't start to collapse around your ears. Keep pressing them down. Think about the heel of the hand pushing down into your mat. Good. And push back into dog. What a relief. Nice deep breathing. Release the ribs. Release the back. Feel the stretch of the back of the legs. Keep breathing. On every out breath, your body is sinking deeper and deeper into a great, fabulous stretch. Good. Now we're going to drop the left knee to the floor this time. Again, making sure it's directly underneath your left hip. Adjust your left arm to be in line with that knee. Watch that right foot. Make sure it's pushed deep into the mat. Lift your right arm, look at the hand. You should just see the thumb. That's it. Now as you take a deep breath, open up. Think about the whole of the rib cage actually turning and rotating. Press that left arm deeply into the mat. Good. Both hands together. Adjust your hands slightly. Bring both feet together. And exhale. And turning, take another deep breath. Now this time you're going to use the same arm again. Again, if you're finding it's too much of a stress on the body, just drop the knee. Watch that right foot. The ball of the foot should be on the floor. That's it. Now as you open, press deeply with that left arm and open the chest up. Good. Even if you only manage this for a couple of seconds, each time you're getting stronger and stronger. Good. Both hands together. And push back into dog. Good. Now as you're doing this, try to soften your neck as well. It's very easy to hold a lot of tension in the neck after you've done that, but try to be soft about your neck. And certainly soft about your face, and the way you're breathing is deep and rhythmical. Breathe. Good. Okay, you're going to bring that left leg back between your hands. Release the foot at the back. Take a deep breath, reach forward and back into crescent moon. Now again, if you're finding going back is just a little bit too much of a stress at this point, it's quite a hard workout, then just lift the body straight up rather than taking it back into a back bend. Okay, you're coming into the last quad stretch here. Drop the hip. Take a deep breath. Hold on to that foot and squeeze gently down towards the buttocks. Hold, focus your breathing. Good, watch the breath. It's always good to focus your attention on a point, so somewhere in the room or on the floor, until you feel like you can be really steady. You know what they say, steady mind, steady pose. Good. As you come back, place the hands down by the side of the feet. Bring both feet together. Now you're going to retrieve your right leg now and bring it down to the left. That's great. Exhale. Keep your weight just centered in the middle of your feet. Don't take your weight back onto your heels. Deep breath, reach forward and come to upstanding. Breathe. Good. And exhale down. Standing in the middle of your mat, you can turn now to the side. Place your right hand and hold on to your left wrist. Now tighten the buttocks, lift the body up and straighten that left arm because your right arm is pulling it, not just for the sake of it. Make sure that your weight is slightly forward rather than back, otherwise you may hurt your back. Now once you feel you're in the deepest stretch, just rest your head on the upper part of that right arm. Good. Other side. Left hand holding on to right wrist. Now pull up first before you go over. Tighten your tummy muscles. Pull the tummy towards the back of the spine. That's called Uddiyana Bandha. Good. Watch that the weight is slightly forward of your hips, not back again, in case you hurt your back. Now as you reach up, release, hands down by the side of the body. Deep breath. Standing back again at the front of your mat, place your feet together, toes spread, take a deep breath, reach the arms up, palms together, and exhale, head to knee, bend your knees, remember if you can't straighten them, take a deep breath, reach the chin forward, take a jump back or step back, good, into Chaturanga, release the hips, push forward into Cobra, good. Now for those advanced people, you can add a press up here by tucking your toes under, but other people just push back into dog. Don't push yourself so much that you're exhausted. Reaching back into dog. Good, deep breathing. Turn out your left foot, shoot through your right into warrior. Good, now take the hands to the side in an aeroplane position rather than above your head. Turn the back foot so that the ball of the foot has the weight on it and lift the heel off the floor. Make sure your knee is down towards the floor. Twisting prayer. Place the hands together. Make sure that your elbows are pushing away from each other and up towards the ceiling. Now if this is too strenuous for you, you can always drop your left knee down onto the floor. Good, coming back to center. Place the hands down by the foot. Bring that right foot to meet the left. Keep the elbows tightly in. And push forward into Cobra. Good. Reaching back. Tuck your toes under and push back into dog. Remember that if you want to add the extra press up, you can. Otherwise, do what I've just done, which is just push back. Sometimes when you get too tired, even advanced people need to just back off. Come up onto the balls of the foot. Jump forward or step forward. Neck stretched forward. Exhale, head to knee. Good. Now dropping down into seating position, knees pressed together, lift the body up, reach up, and exhale, hands down by the side of the body. Deep breath, reach up, palms up. Good. Exhale, hands down by the side of the feet. Again, keep the weight just centered between your feet and not back. As you stretch forward, tips of the fingers, place the hands down, take the weight, push back, jump back and then press forward into Cobra. Good. Tucking the toes under and push back into dog or extra press up. Deep breathing. Keep focusing with the breath. Turn out right foot, shoot through left. Place the hands at the side of your body rather than on warrior in the upward position. That's great. Ball of the foot is now placed on the floor, heel pushed up to the ceiling. Turn the body into twisting prayer. Remember what we said before, if you find this too difficult, just bend the right knee and place it on the floor. And that means you'll be able to hold this posture for longer and get more out of it. Your lower back is turning and twisting, your face is up towards the ceiling, keep the elbows apart, press the palms together down the center of the breastbone. Hands out to the side, good. Hands down by the side of your left foot, both feet together. Exhale down and push forward into Cobra. Reaching that chest up, breathe, tuck the toes under, exhale and push back into dog. Deep breathing. All of the feet, take your weight forward and jump back. Try to jump back silently. If you make too much noise, maybe you should think about just walking forward. Good, press the head down. Bring the arms up, palms up, knees pressed together. Sit down on that stool into the sitting position. Good. Reach up and exhale, hands down by the side of the body. Deep breath, reach up, arms reaching above the head. Make sure the head is back, hands down again by the side of the feet. Tuck the head in. Inhale, reach forward. Weight on the hands if you can, as you jump back or step back. Good. Push forward into cobra. Tucking the toes under. Push back into dog. Coming up and down. Really stretch the spine here. You know, you can afford to really move and shift that spine. Use the breath. Turn out left foot, shoot through right. Watch your alignment. It's always worth checking your alignment. Make sure that knee is pushed out over that little toe, and you're going to come down into warrior two now. So your hips have actually changed from being forward, they've opened out to the side. Look directly down the length of that arm. It's a very strong and powerful pose. Make sure your mind is still. Good. Place the shoulder, the right shoulder, on the inside of the right knee. Place the hand on the floor along the side of the foot. Reaching the arm up and then over into a diagonal stretch. Now the dynamics of this posture are from the center of your left hand all the way down the body into the left heel. Wrap the right arm underneath the knee. The other arm, the left arm, is going to reach around the back. Now if you're very flexible, you can hold onto your wrist, but do make sure it's your left wrist you're holding onto. And pulling back. So wrap the arm around, place it underneath the knee, pull down and turning the head up to the ceiling. Now you need to think about stacking the body. More stretchy people can always stretch their leg for an extra super stretch. Good. Now you need to stack your body. Make sure the shoulder is above the knee and the other shoulder is above that shoulder. Now reach up and stretch into triangle. If you've got very strong and supple legs, then you can place the hand on the floor. Otherwise, I suggest either on the foot or the ankle. If you find that your body is rotating forward, you really need to make sure your body's flat. Make sure the arm's above the other arm. That's great. Now as you reach up, open to the ceiling. Now for some of you, you may not even be able to move much, but if you know what you're trying to do, then the body will respond. Good. Flatten the body into a flat body stretch. Good. Now if you do need to adjust your foot, then just slightly adjust it. If you think you're slipping away from yourself, you're going to go into a twisting triangle. So again, you've got your foot placed this time on the other side of your right foot. If you can't do that and keep a beautifully extended spine, just place your hand on the foot. Coming back to a flat body stretch, place your hands down by the side of your feet. Both feet together, make sure your hands are directly under the shoulders. Push forward into cobra. Good deep breath. Good. Tucking toes under, exhale, and push back into dog. Deep breathing. Turn out, right foot and shoot through left. Now just check that your alignment is correct. Your knee is pushed out over that little left toe. Good. Back outside edge of the leg is really strong. Beautiful warrior. And then come down into warrior two. Now your hips have changed here from having your tummy facing forward. You're going to slightly open it to the side so that it's a much flatter and longer position. It's a very strong and powerful one. Look down that arm. Keep still, but breathe deeply and constantly. Place that left hand on the floor. Make sure your left shoulder is pushing on the inside of that left knee. Good. And take the arm straight up and then over into a diagonal stretch. Now I suggest you look at that hand. See where the dynamics are. Fingertips reaching down the body into that right heel. Wrap the left arm around the back. Get the right arm underneath the knee. Do make sure you don't take your hands underneath the groin. It is the knee. And stack the body over the knee. Shoulder to shoulder. Super stretches can always stretch that leg, and you can do that as well if your thigh's killing you. If it's really beginning to burn, then stretch it to relieve it. That's great. Good. Hand down again to the floor and reach up into triangle. Now remember what we said before. If your body's rotating forward, then maybe you need to take your hand further up the leg until you can feel that your body's releasing and opening. Watch that buttock, the right buttock in this case, really push forward. Make sure that you're supporting yourself and open to the back. Again, if you can't go far, it doesn't matter. You can feel it. That will do. Great. Bringing the body back down into a flat body stretch. Breathe. Adjust your foot if you need to. Now place your hand on the outside edge of that left foot into a twisting triangle. Again, if this is too difficult, then just take your hand further up the leg until you feel comfortable. Make sure the hand is directly above you. You should be looking at the thumb. Rotate the body to a flat body stretch. Okay, good. Place the hands down by that foot, bending that left knee, both feet together. Exhale, down towards the floor, push forward into Cobra. Deep breathing. Remember, it's not yoga if you're not breathing, it's just gymnastics. Keep the breath constant, keep your mind focused on the breathing. Good, pushing back into dog. Release, open, and stretch. Coming up onto the balls of the feet, keep the weight back. Now take the weight on the hands as you jump or step forward. Stretch the chin, good, and exhale. Make sure you've got fingertips, toes, and fingers all in a nice long line. Good, now as you drop down into sitting position, you need to make sure your toes are together, your knees are pressed together, your body is lifting up, good, and exhale, hands down by the side of the body. Standing at the front of your mat, now turn sideways along the length of your mat. Make sure your feet are at least 5 feet, over 1 meter apart. Good. Place the hands behind the back, clasp the hands and pull them down the back. Keep them close to the body. Make sure your feet are parallel. Good. Reaching back. Take a deep breath. Pull forward with your chin and your chest. And as you come down, tuck the head in. Now again, it's really important that the feet are parallel because you're working the hamstring here, that muscle that runs down from the buttock down the back of the thigh and into the knee. We're all going to be at different levels here. As you can see, some of us will be able to bring our hands all the way down to the floor, others not. As you reach up, pull the chin and the chest forward. Place the hands on the floor and walk your way over to your right leg. Now just watch out that your left hip doesn't want to come with you. Push it back. Grabbing hold of the ankle, take a deep breath and actually lay your body as close to that leg as you can. Again, keeping the weight just on the balls of the feet and not push back into the heels. Breathe deeply. On every exhalation, stretch the body. Walking the hands over this time to the left. You now need to double check your right hip. Don't allow it to come with you. Pull it back. Good. And just make sure it's the body that's lying along the leg. That's great. Use your elbows to pull the head down towards the foot. On every out breath, lengthen the body, breathe, and come back to center, placing the hands on the floor. Holding on to both ankles, make sure your fingers are wrapped around the back of your ankles. Use your elbows to pull out to the side, and what you're attempting to do is pull that head between the legs. Now again, we're all at different levels. You can see Mark there at the back, halfway down, using his strength, but he's actually probably getting a lot more out of this posture than anyone who's really supple. You're working harder. Good. Now, as you pull through that one last time, make sure again that you have your weight just on the balls of the feet. Coming up, bringing the arms out to the side. Now this part of the class is really important because we're going to do a balance, and as you can see, we've all gone into our favourite balances. We've got Tim there with his legs extended forward, balancing on his hands. In the tortoise, turtle. We've got Pytha in a headstand. We have Emma at the back in a tree, and I'm doing what's called the Nataraj. Mark is doing the crow, and Rachel at the back is doing the scorpion, her legs extended over. Now the whole point of this part of the class is to use the balance as a gauge on how your mental powers are, because although yoga is wonderful with the physical body, it's even more wonderful with the mind. Inhale, reach the chin forward, bend the knees and jump or step back into Chaturanga. Release the hips, push forward into Cobra. Deep stretch. Tuck the toes under and push back into dog. Placing the heels firmly into the floor. You're going to come up onto the balls of the feet now and take your weight forward and jump into a cross-leg position. Now, obviously, if you can't do this, it doesn't matter. Just place yourself in a cross-leg position. Good. And stretch your legs out. Now get comfy on the mat. Make sure you're in the right position. Make sure your buttocks are nice and loose. Bring the arms above the head. Deep stretch. Place the hands down behind the buttocks. Now make sure they're not too close and the fingers are away from the buttocks. Lifting up the heaviest part of the body. Activate the buttocks. Take a deep breath. Raise the right leg up. And exhale down. Inhale, left leg. Now keep pushing up those buttocks as high as you can. Good. And exhale down. Gently lower yourself to the floor. Taking the left leg, place the left foot on top of the right thigh as high up as you can. Here Kerry's got it on the other side so you can see her hand movements. She's holding onto her toe by wrapping the right arm, in this case, around the back of the body. If you're able to do this posture, then that's fine. Or holding the feet with both hands and pulling forward. Keep breathing deeply. Make sure the body is lengthening and opening. That's good. And watch your breath is focused. Now you can hold that for as long as you want. Bringing the head up. Now this time you're going to bring your right foot deeply in towards the groin, and you need to come off your right hip and tip over onto your left knee. Holding that knee with your hand, your left hand, press it deeply down into the floor. This is just to open and release the hip. Now if you can't place your foot on the thigh and keep it there, you can see what Andrew is doing. He's got his foot on the floor. That's just as good, and he's got his right leg locking that left foot in towards the groin. Wrap the body around, place the hands around the back of the back and around the knee. And then try to bring the head down towards the knee or the floor. You'll feel a stretch in the back. Good. Coming up, you're going to give yourself a really good stretch. So holding onto that, obviously it's another balance here. Think about your belly pushing towards your thigh and your thigh pushing towards the belly. And lower gently, don't just let it thump down, carry it down. Okay, now crossing the legs again, take the weight on the front and you're going to jump back. Now we've done it really slowly here so that you don't feel you have to jump back. You can just get back in any way that feels comfortable for you. Reaching up into Cobra, down into Chaturanga and pushing back into Dog. Deep breath, separate the feet. Come up onto the balls of feet, jump back into a cross-leg position, or just step. Okay, stretching your leg. This time stretching your left leg, right leg placed on top of that left thigh. So here we go. Taking hold of your toe with your left hand, if you can, if not the ankle. And as you can see, you need to really keep lengthening the body once you're there. Watch Andrew, he's got hold of his foot with both hands. That's great. And keep thinking about the chest, reaching forward. Use the breath. Now again, there's always times it can stop the tape if you want to hold a posture longer. Now you're going to bend that left leg in. Try to get that foot as close to the groin as you can. And as you can see, the right knee is pressing down towards the floor. To do that, you can come up your left hip, roll forward onto that knee. Holding behind the back. Take a deep breath and bring the head down towards the knee. Andrew's just managing to hold on. That's great, good. And release. Holding onto the leg into a balance. As you can see again, Andrew's got that foot still on the floor, that's fine. He's getting even more of a stretch possibly than Kerry and I, who find this a little bit easier. Don't ever imagine that those who are really advanced actually get as much out of a posture. It's quite often a beginner or an intermediate who'll get more out of a posture because they're going to have to work a little bit harder. That means those advanced people have to work even harder. Let that leg down slowly, always with great care. Good, both feet together. Coming into the butterfly pose. Hold onto your toes, make sure your thumb's on the inside of that foot and fold it open like a book. Good, that will stretch the inner thigh. Holding onto the toes, pull them up towards you. Using the buttocks, press the knees firmly down into the floor. Now check your upper body. Make sure that your chest is pushed forward, shoulders back. Good. Now, pulling the arms out over the knees, pull the head down either towards the feet or the floor in front. As you can see, we're all at different levels here. Work at your own level. Good. Spend some time releasing the hips. Make sure your buttocks aren't tight. They need to be loosened up here to allow the hips to really open. That's great. Keep breathing. On every extension, you're just going out a little bit further and come up. Excellent. Squeeze the knees in, give them a rest. And stretch the legs out into boat. Now again, it's another balance. Focus the mind. Watch the breath. Good. Or do what Andrew's doing here. He's got his hands placed on the floor to give him that confidence and balance. Alright, holding on to the toes or the ankles. If you can do neither, make sure you've got a strap down by the side of you that you can loop over your toes and use as a lever. There's always a way of extending yourself. This is the basic head to knee, Paschimottanasana. Most important posture in my opinion. This is what's called a youthful pose. As long as you can do this, you'll always be young. Crossing the legs, place the hands on the floor, and here we go. We're going to jump back or step back and lower yourself gracefully to the floor. Pushing up again into Cobra, lifting that chest. If you're feeling a little bit tired now, then just drop your knees to the floor. Tucking the toes under. Push back into dog or a press up before you do so. Deep breathing. Separate the feet and stretch. Now you're going to walk your hands back up towards your feet, holding onto your big toe or the backs of the ankles. Stretch, chin out, really flex that body and gently pull the head down towards your legs. Now use your elbows as a lever. If you need to slightly bend your knees to do that, then this is fine. As you feel more confident, as you stretch out, you can be able to stretch those knees better as well. Good. As you stretch forward, take a deep breath. Arms together, flatten the body, lift up. Good. Now sitting down on the floor. This section is optional. I'm going to show you how to do a headstand. Make sure you keep to the rules. You must fold the arms correctly. Make sure the shoulders are directly above the elbows. Clasping the hands, place them on the floor and snuggle your head up towards your hands. Now, you don't have to go into the full headstand. You can just do what's called a half headstand, where you just walk up towards yourself and stay there. Make sure your hands are clasped and are protecting the back. Here I am doing the half headstand. Practicing this daily will give you the strength and confidence to go up into a full headstand. Good. When you've had enough, you come down into child's pose. I always suggest you try to spend at least 2 minutes in an inverted pose, because it takes that long really for the body to get the benefits, all the blood system circulating and breathing. Good. And coming up to standing, exhale, head to knee. Now this section again, you can finish with a balance. A balance will always test your mental powers, not simply your physical, because as I've said before, yoga is fantastic for the body, the results are wonderful physically, but they are nothing compared to the mental powers that you accumulate. It makes you strong, centered, and that's more important really than how your body's doing. As your mind becomes more centered, your body will do also. So choose a balance even at this section to finish. Good. And always come back to feet together and up standing. Good. Deep breathing. Take your arms above the head and exhale, head to knee. Inhale, reach forward, step or jump, one leg or the other if you're beginner still, and if you're tired, reach forward into Cobra. Reach that throat up, good. Tuck the toes under and push back into dog. You're going to jump to the front of your mat for this section, so again you may either step or jump, but make sure that you take some weight on your hands. That's great. And just sit to a kneeling position at the front of your mat. This part of the class we're going to do an inverted pose. We're going to do the shoulder stand. So there's two things you need to remember. If you have high blood pressure or a neck injury, miss this section out. Stretching your legs out, ready for the shoulder stand. Take your legs over the back of your head, support your back with your hands. Now for those who are more advanced, you can walk your hands down the spine to get a high position. Make sure that your feet are relaxed at the top, that your neck is relaxed, your throat is relaxed, and you're breathing calmly. You can't breathe deeply in this position because of the nature of the chest, but you will be able to breathe into the tummy. Close your eyes for this section and just watch the breath come in and the breath go out. Constantly adjust. Now here I'm just pulling Tim's arms in just a little bit deeper. His elbows as close together as they can and helping him lift the body even higher. That's good. Make sure your neck is loose and relaxed. And the jaw. Take a deep breath and exhale the right leg down behind your head. And inhale up. And exhale left leg down. And inhale up. As you can see, Rachel's also doing that in a headstand, which is a very advanced pose, so please feel very comfortable and safe before you do it. Take both legs down into the plough. There's a very strong stretch on the spine here, so don't worry if you can't get your legs down. They will in time. Never force your spine to do something it doesn't want to do. Stretch the arms out along the mat if you've got your feet on the floor. If not, carry on supporting your back. As you can see at the back, Mark is still finding it a struggle to put those hands on the floor, but he is working on it. And again, keep contact with the breath. From here, we can go into another variation. Legs apart. And bring the knee down by each ear. As you can see, Piper's already gone into this position. She's got her hands wrapped around the backs of the knees and pulling deeply in towards her shoulders. As you lower your legs down towards the floor, just make sure that you release the back and you can go straight into fish. Now fish is the counter pose to the shoulder stand. As you can see, the back is arched, the chest is rising up towards the ceiling, you've got your elbows tucked underneath you and you're actually sitting on your hands. Make sure your feet are flexed, breathe, at least 5 deep breaths. You've finished, make sure that you lie comfortably on the floor, arms out to the side, palms up, feet apart, and rest the body. Coming out of fish, relax the body, make sure the arms come out from underneath, palms up, feet apart, and rest. Now to finish your practice, if you've got a towel or a blanket, cover yourself. Because as you relax, then your temperature is going to drop. Completely release all tension from the body. You've worked incredibly hard, and I want you to end your practice feeling invigorated, released, and open. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Breathe calmly into the tummy rather than into the chest. Inhaling and exhaling. Keep the eyes closed, keep your mind centered on the breath. Every now and then scan the body all the way from the toes up towards the head, checking that those key places are really relaxed. Lower back, buttocks and thighs, chest, shoulders, your neck and throat are released. Jaw is relaxed. Make sure your tongue is just falling to the back of your mouth. Muscles around the eyes are relaxed. And relax. Thank you. Namaste.
I hope you had a really good relaxation at the end of that session. Never cut corners when you're relaxing. It's the most important part of your practice. When all the work that you've done on the body, the amount of work that you've actually done physically is beginning to take effect. It's like taking on board all that information. Don't cut corners. Even if you've got a busy schedule, do a bit of the workout. Like the sun salutes at the beginning. Always do your rest period at the end. That's still connecting with your physical and inner body. Don't forget to relax. Look after yourself after your practice. Keep warm, drink plenty of water. Not cold water, because you've just built up this wonderful fire in your belly. Don't put it out by throwing cold water on it. Room temperature, a little bit over a long period. Look after yourselves. Practice when you can and when you need to. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure. Namaste.